Thank you, Eric. Andrea?
Well, good morning, members of SLOCOG. Andrea Seastrand, president of the Central Coast Taxpayers Association, better known as CCTA. Well, here we are, back to the future, Measure J 2016, all over again. You know, at that time, CCTA opposed the use of forgotten taxpayer dollars to be used to hire consultants to poll voters regarding a tax increase and using those public funds to promote the increase in the sales tax. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were used for that purpose, and then a supplemental voter information pamphlet was mailed to all the voters in the county to support Measure J. And I will tell you, if you look at the 30 pages, 29 are all in favor of Measure J, with one page dedicated to rebuttals. Well, I will say that I talked with Tommy Gong about this pamphlet and asked, what did it cost? He estimated $100,000 to $120,000 to mail to all those voters. Now, that's years ago, so you can imagine if we were to do it again today regarding the high inflation rate. I remind you that after all those forgotten taxpayer dollars were used to try to convince voters to support Measure J, the measure failed. Yes, you heard it today. Failed to not receive the 66% of the vote. It's interesting to note that California law specifically states it's a felony for public officials to use public funds, taxpayer dollars, for campaign activities. I would say that the supplemental information pamphlet was just that. Well, I could go on about Measure J, but here we are again, hiring consultants to poll voters regarding the possible sales tax increase. Well, let's do a reality check. The Tribune recently reported these are days of uncertainty. Governor Newsom also stated that the outlook is uncertain, predicts more unemployment, slow growth. There's a California $32 billion deficit and the possibility of a county deficit, and perhaps your individual cities are facing a deficit. The household debt is soaring, as well as credit card debt. And public service, as public servants, you know your constituents are checking their budgets. They have to put food on the table, gas in the gas tank, and a roof over their head. But here you are, looking at hiring more consultants to poll for an increase. I just want to end by saying that CCTA will be monitoring you to ensure that the public is fully aware if you pursue the same Measure J abusive and illegal approach to using taxpayer dollars to promote a tax measure increase in the sales tax. And I'll end on this also. Here is a list of all the possible tax increases that the voters will be looking at. Maybe it's March 2024, or probably more likely March or November 2024. And we don't know what our state legislature or our federal Congress will be doing in the meantime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. Okay, we're going to bring it back to the board for comments and a discussion.